The first is to freeze the funds and other financial assets of Masood Azhar. The second is that there will be an imposition of travel ban on Masood Azhar. And third, there will also be an arms embargo to prevent direct or indirect supply of arms to the individual. Now, Pakistan is responsible to the international community to take such actions as demanded by the UN Sanctions Committee.
In other news now, and well, lawmakers in the UK have backed a historic motion urging the government to declare a climate emergency. During a debate in the House of Commons, Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn tabled a non-binding motion for the UK Parliament to become the first in the world to declare a climate emergency. The Labour Party leader called on Parliament to declare a climate emergency and set new policies that would set off a wave of action from parliaments and governments around the globe. Now, the motion passed unopposed but stopped short of the government officially declaring an emergency.
We have no time to waste. We are living in a climate crisis that will spiral dangerously out of control unless we take rapid and dramatic action now. This is no longer about a distant future. We're talking about nothing less than the irreversible destruction of the environment within our lifetimes of members of this House. Young people know this. They have the most to lose. I was, like many members of this House on all sides, deeply moved a few weeks ago to see the streets outside this Parliament filled with colour and noise by children chanting, "Our planet, our future." For someone of my generation, it was inspiring, but also humbling that children felt they had to leave school to teach us, adults, a lesson. The truth is, they are ahead of the politicians on this, the most important issue of our time.
And Corbyn also noted that the world is witnessing an unprecedented upsurge of climate activism, with groups like Extinction Rebellion forcing politicians to listen. Activists from the group Extinction Rebellion launched 11 days of protests that paralysed central London in recent weeks. Protesters blocked major landmarks in London. More than 1,000 people were arrested in what organisers described as the biggest civil disobedience event in recent British history. The move also comes a week after 16-year-old Swedish student Greta addressed the UK lawmakers to demand more climate action. The Swedish girl had criticised the UK for supporting exploitation of fossil fuels and exaggerating cuts to carbon emissions. And Mandy Clark, our London bureau chief, is now joining us live for the very latest on this move by the UK government. And, well, Mandy, how will all of this affect businesses? What changes will have to be made? I know it's not official yet, a symbolic gesture nonetheless, but if it does eventually become so, what are the changes that UK is willing to accept?
Well, you know, right now, you're right, it is symbolic. Of course, Jeremy Corbyn was very much inspired to do this move because of Extinction Rebellion. Really did close down the city over that Easter period. Of course, Theresa May told her MPs to have a free vote on it. She didn't whip it, so it was also supported by both sides. You know, right now this is seen as them making the right sounds, but what you need to see is action, and that will be the real litmus test. If the British government are willing to make serious changes, we are seeing very harsh changes coming from the mayor of London, who's added charges after charges. Most recently, he's put the ultra-low emissions charge. So if you have a petrol or diesel vehicle in central London, you have to pay £12 just to drive in it each day. So he is making a point. He's expanding that charge. That's on top of the congestion charges. So we're seeing individual effort. Of course, Mayor Sadiq Khan is part of the Labour Party. Labour has always been on the forefront of the environment. They're not the ruling party in the government, but certainly there's a lot of noise. They're making the right noises. It's that action that we need to see now, and whether they're willing to sacrifice or make business feel a little bit of pain in order to ensure a more protected environment, that will be the real test. And we have yet to see what they are suggesting, what should happen there.
Absolutely, Mandy. Thanks very much indeed for joining us.